I got you.
Well, I'm running down the road with Paul Bearer in tow. I got 15 titles on my mind. 7 world ones, 1 hardcore, and 7 tags with 4 different guys. Take her easy, take her easy. Don't let the sound of gongs and bells drive you crazy. Lights up and raise my hands. Don't even try to understand the supernatural dead man. So take her easy. Well, I'm standing on the corner of Death Valley, California. Such a bright fire I see. It's my house, my Lord, burned to the floor. Lost my parents, brother, everything. Come on, Katie, but please don't blame me. Paul Bearer took me in as his and tried to train me. Rarely lose, I usually win. I never thought I'd see you again. You opened up the cell and climbed in so freaking easy. Now I'm running down the road and I'm all on my own. Got a decade of destruction. Call me Big Evil, not Booger Red, but do call me American. Take her easy, take her easy. Don't let the sound of Limp Bizkit drive you crazy. Come on, Vincie, you bury me. I'm coming back as the dead man, so take her easy. Wanna take her easy. You wanna take her easy.
All right, creatures of the night, welcome to Talking Taker, episode 165 of our encyclopedic exploration, digging up the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. My name is Alex Dorio, and I want to thank you for joining us for yet another round of Dead Man Talking. And I am joined, as always, by my tag team partner, my wrestling buddy, my fellow creature of the night. He is Mr. WrestleMania. Mr. WrestleMania Watch-Along, that is. Mr. Travis White. Travis, you are not my only co-host for the night, though. We are joined by a very special guest for this Watch-Along episode. He is the man known as Pokey's little dog. He is the man that stole the Undertaker hat from me off of eBay, yes, which we have to get into here. He is one of our longest-running listeners, and we've said he's our time-traveling correspondent. He's been to so many of these Undertaker shows. Not just one of our biggest fans. He is maybe the Undertaker's biggest fan. He might not say that about himself, but I'll put him up there.
We'll
this is...
Oh, yeah.
Randy Turco. We've said his name on many podcasts, and now he is finally joining us. Randy, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's an honor to be here. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. So it's
perfect.
Yeah. All week I thought about the episode of Saved by the Bell where they get into Bayside Radio for one week. And they all think that AC Slater is going to kill it as the sports reporter because he's the big doc. Yeah. And he gets in there in that live microphone, and he's just like, "This is AC Slater." I'm like, "Man, I can't do that to these guys."
Nah, I think you'll be all right.
Is that KKTY, right? Wasn't that the call sign? KKTY, yeah.
What was Mr. Belding's name? What was his radio personality? Didn't he have like a nickname? The Big Bopper. Yep.
Yeah, the Big Bopper. Yep.
Oh, man. Well, we're not doing a watch along of that. Yeah. There's already a Saved by the Bell podcast. I don't know if you knew that, Travis.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Paul Gosselaar, he's with some comedian and they do Saved by the Bell episodes.
Hard times, man.
Well, now
But
tonight,
no, seriously, we got Randy the Golden Gopher Turco here, man. We are so excited to have you, dude. It's been, we called your name several hundred times on these episodes, and a pleasure to have you on this Skype call here and on this episode, man. We're so looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's nice because I've heard your guys' voices and I've seen your faces for 2 years.
Right.
You guys get a chance to see my face, hear my voice, and realize that I don't sound like Mike Tyson. I don't sound like Gilbert Gottfried. I'm a real boy, just like
That's right. That's right.
well, I'm honestly upset you're not wearing the Undertaker, the 90s hat, man. I thought you were going to bust it out for tonight.
I should have wore the hat. I can take you on a tour later. I'll show you the details.
Perfect.
I'm still searching
if
for
just
one.
busted on the screen with that hat on, that'd have been salt on the wound, man.
It
That'd have
would.
been like the ashes from the urn from CM Punk on Taker, you know.
But that's all right. You deserve it. You've been searching for it longer than I ever have. So my time will come.
I'm still making payments on it. Don't worry.
Well,
I wanted to say this. So my wife, we talked about, she couldn't possibly care less about wrestling at all. But I tell her stuff from the show, you know, and she loved the story of you and your then girlfriend and your date at B-Dubs when you go hopping around. And she said this, again, not a date or whatever, but she loved that story. I let her listen to it, and she was actually laughing at it. So, which is hard to get her to laugh at anything regarding wrestling. So, anyway, she loved that story. I was like, that guy's going to be on our show. So, yeah, she was excited for us. So,
yeah, thanks. I told Deanna about it, and she wanted to kind of do a run-in. And she's my IT support anyway, so she was like, I'll have to do a run-in and say hello. I'm like, we are recording. Do not come down.
No, by all means, she's welcome. The wives do pop in from now time to time, and the dogs and the babies, they're all part of the Talking Taker family.
Right.
yep.
Well, I believe the first time, one of the first times I remember you reaching out to us on Twitter was you said something about the SmackDown Mall on one of the No Mercy games. I think you corrected or told us what the price was for the Phantom mask of The Undertaker.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember that at all, but that's the first time I remember you popping up into our radar.
I do. I owe a lot to my buddy James Wheeler over at Heel Turn Radio. That's a fellow wrestling podcast. They've been going about the same amount of time that you guys have been going. His pseudonym over there is The Beard. He's got a glorious, glorious beard. And he was the one that pointed out, hey, Randy, I don't know if you know this. There's a couple of guys down south. They're doing a Taker podcast that sounds like it's right up your plate. And so
cool.
I followed up on it. And so I'm not day one, but I really am day one-ish.
There
I
you go.
Say probably episode 5 or 6, and then I hurried up and caught up, and I've been along for the ride ever since.
Well, thank you for sticking with it, because some of those earlier ones were a little rough with the sound quality, and we didn't really have the rhythm and everything. And plus, it was a lot less to talk about. They were like 25, 40 minutes. These are marathons nowadays.
That's right, yeah.
Well, we don't want to make it all about us. We want to know about you, and it's not just about Talking Taker. It's about the Undertaker. So, like we said, you are legitimately a huge, massive Undertaker fan. We've talked about it on here. We always appreciated him, but we have definitely grown as hardcore fans since doing the podcast. We didn't identify as hardcore Undertaker fans growing up. But what about you? What was your early memories of Undertaker? Were you watching Survivor Series 90, or did you jump in afterward? Tell us kind of what made him your guy.
Yeah, well, of course, being a child of the late 80s and early 90s, I think it was like a bylaw that you had to be a Hulkamaniac, right? Mm. So I was a little Hulkamaniac to start. Bruce Pritchard got me when Earthquake sat on Hulk Hogan, and then they asked for the I'm surprised my dad gave me a stamp, actually. But, yeah, he gave me a stamp, and I sent off the cards and letters to Hulk Hogan, so they got me. And but you're right, Taker debuted at Survivor Series 90, and I didn't watch that in real time, but I started seeing him on Superstars and Wrestling Challenge in the following weeks. And I was actually deathly afraid of The Undertaker. 'Cause I'm 8, 9 years old, and I remember that we had a pretty big chest freezer. I might have tweeted this to you guys at some point, but we had a giant freezer in our basement where we had our meats and our ice cream. And so as a kid, I would ask my parents, and I would say, hey, can we have some ice cream for a bedtime snack? And once in a while they'd say, yeah, if you want to go downstairs and get it yourself, we'll have ice cream. And so then I had to balance my desire for ice cream versus my fear that the Undertaker was laying in his casket. As soon as I opened the lid, he was going to hit me. So I was scared of the Undertaker big time. But I do remember, not to bring the tone and tenor down of the conversation, but I remember about that time we had a kind of a death in the family. My aunt was 26. She had an aneurysm. She passed out in a parking lot, never woke up. Very tragic. So there was obviously, when somebody dies that young, and tragically, they have like the full Monty for the funeral, the full 3 days in the funeral home, the services at the gravesite and the church. And I just remember being terrified, number one, but also very curious about it too. And my parents are young, so they had me at 19, so they're like in their mid-20s trying to figure out, like, do we take this kid to this stuff all day?
Wow.
So they did take me all day. And so a note to any parents out there listening: if you don't want your kid to be slightly bent, maybe don't take them all day, because that was about the point that I was so curious about everything that was involved in that. And then if you fast forward the next 5 or so years of my life, like, the Undertaker became kind of a cool thing instead of a scary thing. I got into John F. Kennedy, my favorite president. Nirvana, was a teenager. Nirvana was my favorite band. Horror movies. So like, that definitely was a life-changing moment, and the Undertaker's always just been my guy ever since. So that's definitely kind of what brought it up, and kind of what changed it from fear to like, this guy's kind of cool, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But my wife, she grew up in a funeral home, so her mom worked at a funeral home her whole life. Her mom still does, so she can relate to the weirdness of that can do onto your brain.
Right. I actually, all the way through college, I thought about, as a poli-sci major, I thought about maybe I should minor in mortuary science. And looked up all the math and chemistry that was involved and did a quick reverse on that. Like, no thanks. But I looked it up as far as college.
That industry does not go away. You'll always have a job.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a very secure industry. Yes. Well, we're going to be talking tonight. I don't know if I said it at the beginning. Obviously, if you clicked on the episode, you would know. We're going to do a special watch-along episode, and it's going to be a combination. So we've never done quite something like this before. We're going to do Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, both WrestleMania matches, 25 and 26. We're going to watch them back-to-back. We're going to compare them, talk about our favorite moments, just kind of shoot the crap about these two matches back to back, just like an old school pay-per-view party. But Randy, what are, like, just on the spot, some of your top maybe 3-5 Undertaker matches, or just memories, moments? I know that's tough to do on the spot, but just what's the first things that come to your mind?
Yeah, I think that moment when he locked the Warrior in that casket on the funeral parlor in April of 91, I think it was April of 91, that, again, was also something that kind of changed it from, I'm scared of this guy, to this guy is pretty cool. Like, that was really, risque for WWE TV back in 1991.
Oh, yeah.
When they got him out of the casket and he's barely breathing, and then they sign off, like, we'll see you next week. And I'm 8. So I come home from school, and I'm checking the Detroit News, because my dad got the paper. I'm checking the Detroit News sports section for, like, a death notice on the Ultimate Warrior. Like,
yes.
What happened? And, so, I mean, I think that was definitely a moment that I was like, wow, this guy is amazing, And then some of the other moments when I don't remember him winning the belt the first time at Tuesday in Texas.
Right.
But when he won the championship at WrestleMania 13, that was a huge moment, I think, finally gets to main event WrestleMania. And I know it's not the greatest WrestleMania, but he was in the last match, closing the show.
Yeah.
Your pose. That's a huge one. And then as I start to get older, I was at some of these. WrestleMania 23 against Batista, WrestleMania
so good
against Flair. And then, again, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Royal Rumble 2007 at B-Dubs in Lansing, Michigan.
Yes. Classic moment.
Well, that was
go ahead.
high-fiving everybody high-fiving everybody in the joint, and to-be wife, eventual wife, her face was so red, like, who is this guy?
I love it. I love it.
Well, that was my last question before we jump into this. You've been to so many awesome shows, and you're kind of in like a great city where you can pretty easily travel to a lot of the hot spots up there where WWE seems to go a lot. They come to our neck of the woods more often than they did back when we were growing up. It's like, they never did TV here in Georgia, seemingly, or pay-per-views until WCW died, basically. So we missed a lot of that stuff growing up. But what's your best live Undertaker experience? What's the best one you've ever had?
Yeah, actually, they just had that this day in history this week for that Raw with the Zamboni Raw, and kind of how bonkers wrestling. I mean, I know Bruce Pritchard talks about how wrestling is cyclical, and I mean, in 1998, I mean, everybody had a sign. I mean, there were so many signs in that crowd, and then everything was a Road Warrior pop. I mean, everything was a Road Warrior pop, and that tweet this week kind of reminded me that A, I was there. And B, it just kind of reminded me of how hot wrestling was at the time, how great the crowd was compared to some of the stuff I've been to more recently. It's still very, I mean, they sell out. I mean, they have fans, but it's just nothing compares to 1998. And I really did think The Undertaker was going to get the championship that night. Vince is going to surely not Kane. It's going to be The Undertaker, or maybe they'll have a match and Undertaker will win. And I went home disappointed in that regard.
Wait, was that the night that you drove home on the wrong side of the road, or
no?
That was
SummerSlam 1997. He lost the belt to Brett.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels interference. He wasn't the unbiased ref he should have been, and I got on 75 north for 5 miles, and my house is 75 south. I was so distraught over the fact.
I think Travis thought you literally. Travis thought you literally drove like down, into.
I misinterpreted. I thought you drove in like you were in England, like you drove on the wrong side of the road.
It's not worth it, man. Undertaker's not the champion. I don't want to live in that world.
I'm just gonna go against traffic until I die. Yeah, it's like, don't do it, man. Don't do it, man.
Well, we're glad you didn't take the last ride on that night.
Yeah.
We're glad you're still with us. And folks, we're glad you're with us listening. As always, we invite you to queue up the WWE Network and watch this match along with us. Although, we make it as entertaining as we can, even if you don't. I don't know if anyone ever watches along the matches, but it's still fun either way to listen to it. We're going to watch it along and do alternate commentary. We're going to queue up WrestleMania 25, first of all. And we are going to go to the chapter. We're going to skip the history of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. We know it pretty well. And, of course, we'll talk about it during the match. We'll talk about all the build-up and all that good stuff. But we're going to go straight to the match itself. So if you click on that chapter where it says Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, it should take you to 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 31 seconds, I believe. Am I right? Gentlemen?
That's what I got. I got a white screen, 152 to 31. That's what I got. So,
all right. So we will give everybody a few moments to go ahead and get that queued up, get that synced up with us, grab a drink, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, and we will try to entertain you here. So, yeah, you can pause the show if you need to. I think we are good. I got mine. Randy, you good?
Yeah, I am good.
Alrighty. Well, Travis, you typically do the countdowns for us, so why don't you give us the honors?
I'll give us a 3, 2, 1.
Or
play.
Do the honors.
Play on play. Huh?
Yeah.
I'll give us the honors.
Give us the honors.
Yeah, I'll give you the honor of listening to me giving you the countdowns.
Indeed.
All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, play.
Man.
All right.
One of the greatest
Sometimes
entrances
it is
ever.
hell trying to get to heaven. Sorry, my captions are on apparently. So, yeah, go ahead.
A quick note about that. I looked that up today. That line was so prevalent during that build-up that sometimes it's hell getting to heaven. And I want to know, is The Undertaker like a great philosopher? Is Vince
Yes.
a great philosopher. And I couldn't find a conclusion on that, but I noticed that the only thing that comes up on Google is the George Strait song called "She's Playing Hell, Trying to Get Me to Heaven."
Ooh.
And I remembered George Strait is at the end with Troubadour. He's at the end of Ride. And then so I Googled Undertaker George Strait, and there's a lot of photos of Taker like meeting him at some of the concerts. And I'm wondering if Taker didn't take some lyrics or this song title and kind of bend it a little bit.
I almost guarantee that's where it came from. That's awesome, man. Excellent sleuth work on you, man.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
He just earned his spot being on the show right there. That was
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
He's outworking us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of outworking, look at this guy. He's coming down from the heavens. Shawn is descending. He's got the Randy Orton pyro here. It looks awesome. This, again, we talked about on this show, the theatricality and the epic entrances and the production given to Taker. Well, Shawn's getting all of it, too, right here. It's just incredible, man.
I'll tell you what, I would be scared to death riding that thing down, though. I'm not that afraid of heights, but just being in that little tiny thing, like, I don't know, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't go fast enough if it was me.
Yeah.
Now, you said WrestleMania 23 you've been to. Have you been to other WrestleManias?
X8 in Toronto, so the Ric Flair.
That's right.
Yeah, so good, man. Yeah, those are two great ones.
Yeah, we drove from Detroit to Toronto. It was about 5-6 hours. So we drove out there, had lunch at the Hard Rock Cafe in Sky Dome, watched the event, and then literally drove home until 3 a.m.
Son of a gun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Where would you have been watching this show, WrestleMania 25?
25. So we actually, I know it's strange for you guys, but we get snow first week of April up north. And so there was a big snowstorm. I was supposed to go see it with my buddy Doug Rohr over at his place a little closer to Detroit. I'm in Lansing. It's about an hour drive. I was too chicken to drive it. So I did not drive it. So I actually had it at my own apartment. And then Deanna, who we were not married, not living together, we were maybe not dating. I don't know if we ever dated. But she said, hey, I can come over. I mean, it's better than nothing. So she came over and watched it with me. And actually, she did a great job for me because I tried to order it last minute with Dish Network, and they were acting like I needed to order it like 4 days beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
So I was full Hogan promo, like shirt off, yelling. I thought I was going to miss The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Luckily, she got on the phone for me and did some diplomacy, and we got the show.
There you go.
What did we just talk about on our recording last night, Travis?
I was going to say, it hasn't dropped as of this recording, but yeah, we talked about basically the opposite of that. At WrestleMania 29, it kept screwing up with DirecTV, and I was trying to calmly talk to them when my lovely wife got on the phone and gave them the Angry Hulk promo because it was for my birthday, and I got the whole pay-per-view for free for next month. So, yeah. So, oh, man.
I think I said...
I got it I had it at my apartment in the end because this match sucked me in as a fan, and I was jumping, doing my cuticles and falling on the floor. Yeah. And exactly, that's kind of weird behavior when you're at somebody else's house. So.
Sure. Look at this stare, man.
Yeah, which way is he looking?
I don't know.
Now,
it's a Geritron.
There he is, the dead man, lightning striking, thunder rolling. Different country singer right there.
Yep.
But I said this a little bit on our WrestleMania 25 episode, but I remember as Undertaker rises up from the depths of hell right there, from the darkness, I remember I was not really hyped for this match back in 2009. It was kind of, I love Shawn Michaels, thought The Undertaker was great, but to me it was like, all right, we've seen it. And these two guys are 10 years older than the last time we saw it. I don't know, man. I just wasn't expecting what we got. Like, I didn't think it would suck, but I was not expecting what we got out of this.
Absolutely. The only thing I had a little inkling that it might be good, like you said, was the way that they ended the Rumble in 07 together.
Yeah.
Match, and that was really good. And I thought, wow, they got the potential to have a good one, but I had no idea.
No. I don't think anybody knew it was going to be this good. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Taker making his epic entrance.
Yeah, when they're walking down the aisle like this, these guys are veterans, top of their business. Do they know? I know they have a couple spots in the finish kind of, and they're going to call the rest in the ring, but like, do they know, like, hey, if we hit our marks tonight, this could be huge? Like, I wonder what they're thinking.
I think Shawn always thinks that. I'm just like, I'm not being funny. Like, I really do. I think Shawn always thinks that he's going to have the best match of the night. Because I was just watching the Kurt Angle and Steve Austin Broken Skull thing, and he was talking about when they wrestled at Mania. Was that 21? That he told Angle said he told me backstage, like, I'm not afraid of you. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not gonna fight you, but like, he's just basically Shawn's like saying, like, get on my level. Like, I'm not, like, we're gonna do this, you know. And I think Shawn just always had that, you know, like chip on his shoulder, like, I'm gonna steal the show.
That's probably what separates these two guys from so many other people. What puts them on that special level is they thought that and they felt that on these nights. And you know, we listened to that. The referee Marty Elias, he did a watch along for this on Jericho's podcast, and he, you know, talked about some of the plans they had for this match and like the finish, like how they didn't know if they were going to be able to pull it off and this sort of stuff.
Yep.
And like the day of the show, Shawn's like, yeah, we don't need a plan B. We'll make it happen. Yep. So like, I think they knew, yeah, we're going to do something good here. Like we need more. Didn't they think they were going to get less time too? And they had to like argue they need more time because they're going to do something big.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they were going to get 14 minutes or something. Shawn's like, no, not going to happen. So he's, you know, Vince is in his back pocket still, you know, even though he's like born again and a good guy now, like he still can tell Vince what to do.
So, Randy, how did you feel about Shawn Michaels? Were you a big fan of his? Were you a hater? I mean, what was your opinion on him?
No, I loved Shawn Michaels, not nearly like The Undertaker, but I respected him. And I always think about after he came back in 2002, like, man, if he didn't come back in 2002, all the moments and matches we would have missed out on. These two matches, the match with Angle, Travis, that you mentioned, the match with Triple H at SummerSlam 2002. I mean, so many great matches and moments we wouldn't have had. And that's just what he did in that little 8-year span, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yep. Jericho at 19. It's just that's who. Yeah. Saudi Arabia? I'm just kidding. Too soon. We'll get there on Talking Taker, unfortunately.
Must we? I guess we have to. Dude, I love
that's Taker.
Yeah, we're not hearing it because we got the sound down, but I love the thunder rolling every time he takes the hat off and rolls the eyes back. It's just, I mean, they always hit the mark. It's so perfect.
Absolutely.
That's somebody's job. He's got to hit that button. He's got to be watching.
There's a Taker's hat guy backstage. It's like Taker's hat. Like, he's a button he pushes every time Taker moves his hat. You know, it's crazy.
If he misses it, he's gone forever. Just
he's
just like Sim Snuka.
The guy in this match. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, Taker's ready to go, man. Look at this guy. Here we go.
Best finisher in the game. He's going to start off with haymakers.
That's right.
No doubt about it.
Ooh, I love that chop. Shawn's just showing him, I don't give a crap. Like, I'm going to chop you down, man. I love it.
So we talked, you know, we didn't cover the build-up for this or watch the video package, but, you know, we all remember it's the light versus the darkness here. Lots of religious overtones coming into play, and you can see it even in Shawn's tights that he's got the white in there, and obviously his big entrance and all of that. So I really did, really loved watching the build to it, too, and I think that's kind of helps elevate. This match would be awesome without it, but just that they told such a great story before the match as well really boosts this too.
Absolutely. Even the you beat everybody at WrestleMania, but you haven't beat me. I mean, that's
yeah, these two could go out on a cold match on a house show with no story to say, hey, we're gonna get these two tonight, and that'd be fine. But yeah, like you said, Alex, having the background they had what at this point they've had 15 years in the business together or something, you know, so it's just crazy. And then you add the light and dark, the religious iconography and stuff. It's just fantastic, man. Shawn faking that injury.
Yeah, a little heelish there from Shawn.
Shawn Michaels is the one that taught me the by hook or by crook line, so he doesn't care whatever it takes. Yeah.
Whatever it takes to beat the streak here tonight. So
Taker's throwing haymakers here.
Oh, absolutely, man. just amazing. Randy, you talked about that guy that was slamming the Ultimate Warrior in a casket and would walk like a zombie and wearing the gray gloves and just choking out in the corner. How far he's come here in 2009 and what a different kind of performer, what he's evolved into at this point.
I think Jericho said it on that This Is My Yard DVD, and he said the Undertaker is the Madonna of the WWF, and he means he's not a big-breasted woman. He's
right.
somebody who's willing to adapt and change, and he's going to be ahead of the curve on being stale. So kudos to him.
So what? He's not wearing the cone bra or anything like that. But what is your preferred Undertaker look? Like if when you picture Undertaker in your head, which version are you picking?
Probably the first one. Maybe not mullet Undertaker. Maybe give me a long hair. Got the stirrups and the gray gloves, and he's impervious to pain. I love that Undertaker.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Yep. I pictured gray gloves. How did you feel about Biker Taker? Because we've been very open about hating that back in the day, and then totally turning the page on it as we did the podcast.
Yeah. I was the same. I don't think I liked it at the time. I didn't enjoy that at all. I was like, when's he gonna? I thought he just did it for one night when he came back. I was like, okay,
right.
He'll go back to normal now. And then he never did, and I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now.
Yeah.
Although in college I did wear the carabiner hook. I'm wearing it right now, like the little hook on your pants. Did you guys ever notice he has a hook on his pants?
Yes, he did. Yes,
I mean,
he did.
If I ever meet him, I'm asking him that. Like, what the heck is that hook all about?
Did you also start chewing? Did you also start chewing tobacco because Undertaker did?
Honestly, I did not, but I tried it one time at Michigan International Speedway. They were handing it out for free, and my buddy and I were 27. And I'm so glad we were by the garbage cans because it went in and it went back out.
Oh, well, it's been well documented on this podcast. I've never tried it, but Alex did pour it on my head one time. So. On accident.
Yeah, it was on accident. Yeah, I didn't know the can was full, but
no.
Whatever. Well, Taker selling the leg. That's the one of the bingo card moves that we see in Undertaker matches so much. And dude, I'd never realized that he does that in every match, man. The big boot running into the corner.
Right.
You know, something else we're not hearing is JR on commentary. I just saw him over there. Again, he makes these matches so much better just having him on them.
Going for that figure four.
Yep, using the submission, trying to work over the legs, and he's gonna. That's gonna play into next year's match as well. He uses that, he dusts that off, and obviously a nod to Ric Flair, who he defeated at WrestleMania the year before this.
I counted Alex 3 Flair callbacks. He did a little bit before this. He did the Flair.
Yep.
Kind of head over heels cell in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Then the figure four, and then they're gonna get into the. He just did the shin breaker too. He does the shin breaker. So I counted 3 Flair. Which I thought was cool. Yeah.
And if you count the chops too, even though it's everybody can do that, but still, Shawn does that. You know, maybe a little homage. Look at this little tiny ponytail at the back. It cracks me up, man.
On Shawn?
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Well, I'm starting to get Shawn Michaels hair these days, man. I've got like this one little piece here in the front, kind of like Shawn has. Like, I'm this close to just cutting it all off, man.
Go Saudi Arabia like he did, man.
I know. I'll get there eventually.
In college, we would always call him the He's Bald Kid.
That's perfect.
There's Ole Anderson in the front row. Oh, man.
Now,
crazy.
How was wrestling for you as a kid? Like, were you the lone guy who liked wrestling? Or, you know, like for Travis and I, in the South, like in the Attitude Era, it felt like every kid in school watched Raw and Nitro and would talk about it Tuesday morning. Like, did you... I know you're a couple years older than us, but what was your experience like growing up?
Yeah, as a little kid, when you're like on the playground at recess, like mimicking the wrestlers, absolutely everybody was doing that. But everybody was hulking up. I was the only one sitting up like a zombie. So there was no different there. But in the Attitude Era, absolutely everybody at our school. If you didn't know what happened last night, I mean, that was must-see TV. And lunch if you didn't know what was going on.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It'll never be like that again.
Were you guys too sweeting each other in the hallways and stuff?
Absolutely. Most of my friends were getting they had to cover up their shirts with tape on the Austin shirts. Words, for sure. I didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
Now, did you, go ahead. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Me?
I thought you were saying.
Oh, I didn't have anything. No.
Sorry. My bad. I was going to ask a question and I completely blanked out, so my bad.
Okay, perfect.
I was going to say, now, being from up north, were you into WCW at all? Because obviously, we grew up 2 hours from Atlanta. I mean, so we're primo WCW like hotbed. So, were you into that at all, or just mainly WWF?
Not at all. When I was like a little kid. I mean, I had no inkling of that. My buddy Doug Rohr, he loved it in the early '90s. But in the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, I watched both for sure. But I would watch Raw and tape Nitro. But
okay.
The opposite. Were you guys the opposite then? You kind of watch Nitro first and then Raw whenever?
Not me. I was always more pro WWF. I had periods where, like NWO, like first year or two of NWO, I was all about WCW. So probably then I was more into Nitro. But man, as soon as like 97, 98, Attitude Era, Stone Cold, DX, I turned the page, man. I still watched Nitro. I still would record both of them every week, but I was always, for the most part, more WWF. Because that's what I was at first. I was a Hulkamaniac. That was the first thing I ever saw. So that was always in my blood. And Travis, Sting was your guy.
Yeah, Sting was my guy. And so I was always more toward WCW. I was a little more alike to the PG-ness of it, as far as growing up the son of a pastor. I just wasn't used to the cursing and the flicking off and all that stuff, a little sheltered in that regards. But what Alex and I would often do is I would watch Nitro, he would watch Raw, and we'd be on the phone with each other. So like at my house, my parents had a second phone line because with AOL, if you got online and someone picked the phone, you kicked them off off of the internet, So my parents got a second phone line, so I would be on that talking to Alex on the phone. He's walking me through Raw. I'm walking in through Nitro, or we're flipping back and forth if we need to. Like, oh man, turn it! You got Dean Malenko versus Psychosis or whatever. Or he's telling me, turn it, man! We got the Godfather coming out. So like, we're going back and forth. But a lot of times we spent 2 hours on the phone every Monday night for a couple of years. Probably.
I don't think I ever told you turn it. The Godfather's coming on.
Oh, you did. I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh, your parents are coming. You better turn it. The Godfather.
Exactly. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, exactly. You better turn it back to WCW because the Godfather's on. Yeah.
Make sure you don't change the channel right now.
Yeah.
But we're missing a lot of action here. Just kind of BSing about the times. Shawn Michaels has done a crossface, a crippler crossface, which is I guess they didn't call it a crippler crossface anymore at this point. But and then his big elbow, running elbow. So he's starting to gain control of this match.
He just did a kip up, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you guys have ever tried. Anytime I've ever tried to do the Shawn Michaels kip up, I hurt myself significantly. So
same. I think Travis can do it, or could.
I still can. If I can do it in my boys' room downstairs on their little play mat, I can get it, or on the trampoline for sure. But even tonight, I was bouncing around with him, and my youngest son was trying to do it. He's hilarious trying to do it. But anyway, it was fun. Yeah, Shawn, here we go, man. He's going to get he's kind of in control, like you said. Taker's flat on his back, and Shawn's going to go up top.
Travis would never say this about himself, but if we'd have actually committed to wrestling career, he could have been a Jeff Hardy style man. Always very athletic, very high flying. Could always do that sort of stuff in our backyard matches, jumping off swing sets onto the trampoline, all sorts of stuff. He had that in him.
A lot of my friends would be doing Jeff Hardy into the pool, and I'd be doing the Matt Hardy leg drop because that's about all I'm capable of.
That's me.
Well, yeah, if we were the Hardy Boys, he would have been the smarter one who could tell more stories and better at promos. I mean, Alex has always been better at that gift of gab and stuff than I am, but we're both pretty good at improv and stuff. But yeah, he would have been the Matt Hardy and the more solid one, and I would have been the more flashy, probably going to die younger because I was going to jump off of something, So, yeah. I want to try to steer clear of the drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah. And you make better music than Jeff Hardy does. So
No, well, thank you. But we're both very much inspired by Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder, so.
true.
I don't know if you guys noticed in the front row there's the Cavs jersey guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Terrell Pryor number 2 jersey. We will see them next year at WrestleMania 26 also.
Yep.
And I don't know how you afford tickets 2 years in a row front row at Mania, but I don't physically understand how you can, even if you can afford it, how do you make that happen? I don't know how you get
I have
front row
no
tickets.
idea.
Yeah.
They've got to know somebody, because there's somebody, like, as we're looking at them to their right, there's a young girl who's got, like, kind of short, blondish brown hair. She's next to them at all these Manias. You can see her at 26, 27, 28, 20. They're at all of them. I don't see. I obviously didn't see them this year at 36, but I haven't seen them in the last few years. Right there in front and center, but they're always up front, man. It's crazy.
Undertaker just missed the apron leg drop, and man, that's a move. I never understood how he didn't break people's necks doing that move, man. I can understand a lot of things about wrestling and how the moves work, but that one has always blown my mind.
Yeah, I think I'd rather take a tack spot than get the leg drop on the apron.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
And who sold it the best, man? Batista. Remember we talked about that?
Batista would do it awesome.
Batista was the best.
Yeah.
The best seller of that. Oh, Sean's going up top. Taker's on the outside for those of you who are paying attention or who are not paying attention and watching with us. Sean is going up top. He's slipping off the top turnbuckle. Here he goes.
Oh, brutal.
Hard pass, yeah.
Yeah, Taker. I'm not going to take that move tonight.
Dude. He just basically backflipped into an empty pool, man. Just like off the top rope.
And I know we can't hear it with the volume off, but the noise, the thud that he makes
Yes.
that was like almost Looney Tunes like. It was just sickening.
And he hurt his wrist there for real. Like in real life, he legit hurt his wrist. Watch the way he lands. Oh, his left wrist.
But I love, they don't show it on the replay here, but he slips a little bit. And I think it's on purpose. I think he does that so that Undertaker can push him out of the way. And just to give that little extra, Undertaker was able to watch him and recover enough when Shawn slipped climbing up the ropes there that he could have enough time to move out of the way. So just, again, fantastic storytelling from these guys as Undertaker sits up, and here we go.
Here we
Cameraman's, you see an elbow of the suspicious cameraman moving into play.
Here comes that flying cow.
Here we go.
Talk about a dive into an empty pool right here.
He is angry.
Do you guys think that's revenge for WrestleMania 7? Like Sim Snow helping?
Long-term storytelling, pal.
He's playing the long game. The Anoa'i family played the long game.
Well, dude, tell us your reactions to that. We talked about ours on our original podcast. What were you thinking when that happened live?
Yeah, I thought that was going to be it. And I thought he was hurt legitimately. I thought the match was going to be over. I thought there's no way he can get up after that. That looked terrible.
Looked and sounded terrible. You talk about a smack.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's his neck or the camera hitting the ground or some combination of both, but it is just the worst thud.
I did feel better when they showed this replay. I'm thinking, okay, well, if he's seriously hurt, they wouldn't replay it 1,000 times.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. But just watching it just hurts me. I mean, he is like perpendicular to the ground.
Yeah.
And he's still laying there. And we talked about on our podcast with the referee Marty Elias revealed that here, like, Sean's basically telling him to stall a little more, and Marty Elias' earpiece broke at that point when Sean shoved him, so he doesn't have any communication with the back. So they're kind of calling it as they are right now, and he's telling him, Taker's almost dead. Please stall some more.
You see Taker kind of twitching his fingers a little bit, too, making sure he's still got some feeling in there.
He could have suffered a stinger, man.
Oh, easily, yeah. So Sean pleading with John Prine. I mean, Marty Elias. That's what... Can't tell. Sorry, my vision's a little bit. Gets him in there. Rest in peace. Golly, man.
Taker pine on top of it.
That will never, ever not look brutal, man. Taker taking that dive. I'll never be okay seeing that.
Yeah.
I think one of the best parts of this spot too is Shawn's reaction right here. Is he's just pleading with the referee Marty Elias to like count faster, like hurry. I win this match, throw in the towel, DQ, count out, whatever. I just want to win.
Yep.
Please count. And like that, I can put myself in those shoes. Like that would totally be me. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Hurry up and count by twos. Whatever you got to do.
Yep. Exactly.
And I really did. I thought Taker was going to get counted out. I thought they were changing the finish. I thought he couldn't walk. I thought the streak's going to end by count out. I can't believe this. This sucks. No, don't let it happen like this. He's shoot hurt. He can't get in the ring. He's going to get counted out. They totally hooked me.
Oh, yeah.
These count out spots always make me nervous that the guy isn't going to make it in on time.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was probably, obviously it was part of the match that they're going to do a count out spot here, but I thought he really might not make it into the ring because of how hurt he was. But there he goes, man. Just incredible timing. Can you believe he ever did that spot again, though, too? He did that dive even more times after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he made it back in the ring, but Sim Snuka hasn't moved. Do you guys think he's still laying there today?
Yeah, I think so.
His body has not
in a concrete crypt.
Found. But Shawn's ruthless, man. He's relentless. He had no sympathy for the Undertaker here.
No sympathy.
No
Sympathy for the devil.
Oh, that might be the song for today. Although I think I've done that one. I don't know. I try not to repeat it.
I think so.
Choke slam.
Ooh, dirty choke slam. Jim Gaffigan in the front row with his Easter shirt on.
Look at that. I didn't know he was a fan.
Big fan. Oh, man. And also C.W. Anderson from ECW is a couple people to his right, it looks like.
Yeah, that like WrestleMania 25 affliction shirt. He sells out. I mean, for all those reactions, like, I am that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever sat front row at a WWE show?
No, I would always wanted to have the chair, although apparently they don't let you take the chair home on the plane, right? But
right.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to get the chair, but I never was able to do that.
Yeah. Only time I've sat front row for like anything wrestling wise was a TNA house show in Augusta. Managed to get front row seats for that. Real difficult to get front row seats for that, but it was very fun.
We've taken up a whole side of the ring, a whole row on one side at ROH before when they used to come to Minnesota 3, 4, 5 times. That was really fun getting to be able to pound the barricade and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Of course, your hand is hamburger by the end of the night.
Right. That's awesome. Taker with a kick out after this wicked, quick, sweet chin music here. I love that move because it comes out of nowhere and it can be hit on anybody. You know, I remember Jericho saying one of the reasons he changed to the code breaker is because he can hit it on anybody. You know, like the walls of Jericho, it's hard to get big guys like Taker or Big Show or Kane into it and make it look good. Like you know, and Punk talked about, you know, the go to sleep. He could hit it on anybody, but sometimes it didn't look that great on big guys. But you know, sweet chin music, you can hit it out of nowhere, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
that's true. Taker had the tombstone, and he was shackled for what, 5 years when he's fighting all those fat guys. He couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Sometimes you couldn't do the choke slam. Sometimes you couldn't do the choke slam on some of those guys, man. What did he beat King Kong Bundy with the flying clothesline at WrestleMania.
All right, so let me get your opinion on this, Randy. Do you think that Bundy was legit angry after that? Because that match drove me crazy because Bundy kicks out at like 3.1, and then he just rolls out of the ring and stomps to the back. Like, do you think he was shoot mad at that for some reason?
I don't know if he was shoot mad or if he just. I don't know that he was. I think he was just interested in getting his paycheck and going.
Yeah,
I did my job. See ya.
It was so disrespectful to me from a legend like Bundy to Taker. You know, I just thought how disrespectful was that, man.
Over at 3, your job is over after you sell it, crawl away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing the Undertaker opponent figure collection, and I keep looking at King Kong Bundy figures, and I just don't want to spend like more than $5 on one. It's just like they're. He just has an old LJN, which is hard to find. Like that's not completely disgusting and beat up, unless you want to spend like $100 on it. And then he's got a like the Figures Toy Company, like the sort of off-brand one, which is a crappy figure. And then he has a classic Superstar that also sucks because it doesn't look anything like him. Ooh. Oh, elbow drop. The rare elbow drop.
The elbow.
I can't think of too many more times he tried to maneuver off the top rope, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Very rare. But
big tree fall hard, man.
Indeed. We just did the CM Punk match last night, or it came out a week ago if you're listening to this, but he does a snap suplex in that match, like Chris Benoit style snap suplex.
Oh, yeah.
We were both like, what is he doing? He never does that. Where did that come from? Well, one of the funny things we always pick up on commentary is anytime he does the superplex off the top rope, the announcers are like, "Oh, I've never seen the Undertaker do anything like this before." It's like, nah, he does it like every other match.
Yep,
it's great, but come on.
I love this right here. Oh, Shawn skinned the cat. Taker picks him up into a tombstone.
Dude,
just like, not playing, kid.
This was
when I was watching
it.
Live, I thought this was it.
Yes.
Finish, and it would have been great if it was, you know. Two, and he kicks out, and there's that Undertaker. Oh. There's that famous face. There's my face after WrestleMania 30.
Yep.
We'll get to that next week. Yeah.
Wait, whose leg was your head on? You don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that. No, seriously, like what a near fall. Yeah, and what a moment right here. People talk about the Triple H doing the tombstone and the kick out of Undertaker, or the sweet chin music into the pedigree. This is right there with it as far as a near fall, man. Just, oh man, how does he kick out of that?
And that had me a little worried too, because I usually kind of like check off in my mind all the signature moves. I'm like, I think tombstone. Oh, wait a minute, he just did it. Now what? How's this going to end? You know?
And I think that's one of the reasons why I wasn't really hyped about this match, is because I didn't think there was any chance Shawn Michaels was going to break the streak. Like, I thought the guy who breaks the streak is going to be somebody who they're going to give this giant push to. And I'm thinking in my head, Shawn Michaels doesn't need this. Like, they're not going to have him break the streak. But it just tells you what a great match this was, is throughout the match, I totally believe that Shawn Michaels is going to break the streak.
I got sucked into. I was always about 90-10 on most WrestleMania matches. There's always that 10% chance.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know if they're going to do something dumb. But otherwise, I was pretty confident. And this match totally got me.
Without question. Whoa!
Oh.
Shawn around the horn with the tornado DDT.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, I don't think Taker's head touched the mat on that one, but
it's
all right. It's okay.
It looks great.
He's been through enough tonight.
Great.
You see the dude with the John Morrison sunglasses who has not taken them off the entire match?
Yes.
Yeah,
those could be.
That's the number 2 jersey guy, the Terrell Pryor jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God.
Big fan of Jomo. Big fan.
Get the A out.
Get the A out.
I gotta go, guys.
I don't know what it means. Sorry.
Maybe it's Canadian. Get the A out. Oh, HBK is Mania. Sign over there.
Were you a sign taker to your shows, Randy?
Back in like the Attitude Era, I absolutely was. I had a Slap Me Steph sign in 2002 at No Way Out.
Oh, nice.
Stephanie McMahon. She was like my college crush. I was pretty convinced. Yes. Triple H is living the dream right now because I have allowed it.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Stephanie, man. Yeah, she had her moments.
I did copy off of Shawn. I remember Shawn and Triple H had signs at the original DX when they were on the ramp one time on Raw. And Shawn had a sign. I don't think I understood what it meant at the time, but Shawn had a sign that said, "I'd rather be in China." And so I made that sign and took it to that Zamboni Raw. And looking back now, I'm like, I don't think I understood what that meant at the time.
That's amazing.
That's insane. Oh. I love that spot we just saw that elbow. Like, Taker was obviously too close to the area, but they didn't worry about moving him. Shawn just adjusted in the air, and, it was two pros, man.
Absolutely.
Tuning up the band.
I really don't like when other wrestlers do stuff like that. Like, I don't like when Edge tells the guys to get up when he backs into the corner for a spear.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that. Shawn Michaels, I love it. I love what he does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the only person I like who has a thing like that before his move. I don't know.
Yep. That kick out, man. Crowd bit on that.
C.W. Anderson was marking out that the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. Oh. And the truck driver next to him is just incredible, man. That's the guy who drove him there. This is Ralphus. Drove C.W. Anderson in the front row at WrestleMania 25. Oh.
Now, Randy, at any point did you consider getting Deanna's name tattooed across your throat in the past few years?
No. I did. I've sent her pictures of Biz Markie, the rapper. He has Deanna on his pec, right
Oh,
here.
yeah?
So I've sent her pictures of that, but I'm not going to get one. No, Deanna's a long name, and I'm too chicken.
Yeah, Sarah was four letters. So.
Right.
Did you ever sing Biz Markie to your wife? Ooh,
No.
baby, you. Sing. That's so good, man.
The quality's about the same, I'd say. If I yeah.
Yeah, he was not good, but he was entertaining.
Getting in a slug match with the Undertaker, who is much larger than you, and he's the best striker in the game, probably not a good idea.
Not too smart for Shawn Michaels. He's desperate here. Chopping away, though, man. Those are probably not feeling too good after 25 minutes of wrestling. Just getting a hard slap across the chest.
Taker's chest, a map of Pangea.
Yeah. It looks blue and purple.
And dude, that dive onto his neck was 12 minutes ago, and here he is still having this banger of a match after that. How do you not respect this guy?
Crowd was on their feet with that attempted tombstone right there. More chops, man. Ugh. Just chopping wood, dude.
Right.
Oh, to the corner. Stinger splash. Nope. Boot.
Got that boot up.
Both men are drained. Both men are down.
At this point, I have no idea how this match is going to end. I can't.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are they going to hit him with a truck? What's going to happen?
Right.
Yeah. We've seen tombstones. We've seen choke slams, last rides, Hell's Gate, sweet chin music, flying elbow, moonsault off the top rope, dive to the outside. Yeah. What else can there be? Well, we're about to find out.
Right. The final spot right here. And I mean, it's so easy to predict and see now, but man, back then, this was diamond cutter out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Boom.
And as they said, they weren't sure if they could pull it off. They tried to rehearse it, and it never quite worked. But here they are. When the spotlight's on them, they make it happen. Here, as the Undertaker goes to 17-0 at WrestleMania.
This was one of maybe 3,487 times I thought, that's it. They'll never take the streak away from him now. We're good. He beat Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
He is now rightfully Mr. WrestleMania.
Yep.
He took it from him. There's no way he'll ever.
I thought you were going to say this is one of the times where I thought, wow, that's probably his last match right there.
Yeah, that too. Both guys just dead in the ring. Just spent.
And look at the signs, dude. Not as many signs as the Attitude Era, but every WrestleMania, man, who's got the most signs out there? Everyone brings that 17-0, 18-0, 19-0, whatever it is. Everybody's got that Undertaker sign as we hit the replays here. Yet again. Golly.
One cool thing about that last tombstone was that Shawn was fighting it too. He didn't go limp when Taker just caught him. He kind of struggled and fought it. And I think I mentioned this when first time we watched it, or first time we talked about this, was that the only guy you see do that nowadays is AJ Styles. He'll be in a finishing move, but he'll fight it as he's getting done to him. Shawn did it here, and it was just, I mean, it's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to go completely limp and just suddenly you're, lost all your faculties. Like, he just caught you in a tombstone. You try to get out of it if it was a real fight, So, yeah. I don't know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he made, like he says later in the year, I made one mistake. If this is a football, I picture Shawn driving down to the 20, kicking the field goal. He's down by 2, kicking that game-winning field goal, but it just went wide right.
Exactly. Yep.
Sounds like the Minnesota Gophers to me.
I really it's like you're in the Super Bowl and you got Marshawn Lynch there, but instead of handing it off to him, you throw a pass or something.
Throw a pass.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But like, see, watch. Taker catches him and look at him. He's fighting it. He's kicking and kicking. Yeah. He's not just limp.
There's
1, 2, 3.
marking out.
That's right. He loves it.
Incredible here. 17.
Come back from the replay just in time to get the Shakespeare pose.
Did you guys like christen that? I've never heard it called that until you guys. But
No,
now I can't.
I heard Bruce Pritchard call it that.
Yeah. Pritchard called it that real early on in his show, and so we just kind of took that and ran with it. So
nice. Well, I'll still say that.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That's fine.
It should be the Hamlet pose. Isn't that what we should be saying? Because I don't think Shakespeare ever posed. Maybe he did. I don't know. But man, what a match, dude! It doesn't get old. It's awesome every time you watch it back. It hasn't lost anything. There's no flaws in it. I know Meltzer only gave it, or did he give this one 5, or is it like 4 3/4? I don't know. I don't really care.
I don't know. And you know what? Yeah, I couldn't care less anymore. That guy drives me nuts. But
I mean, without question, it's 5 stars in my opinion. And I know you said you were
it
biting
6 in the Tokyo Dome
easily. Yeah,
right.
Evander Holyfield, he loves it right there.
Yeah, baby.
Greatest.
Wait a minute, that's his son who played for Georgia, right there. That's
really
Holyfield. Holy crap, he was a running back. Yeah. Holy crap,
man! WrestleMania moment.
That's insane. Yeah. Oh, anyway.
So, Randy, what sort of closing thoughts do you have on that match, the first in the WrestleMania series with Shawn Michaels?
I know that you guys talked about 25 versus 26, and they're 1A and 1B to me, and it just depends on. I think it's all subjective who has it at 1A and 1B. But I liked WrestleMania 25 a lot. And actually, one of the surprising things in reviewing this, I always remember 25 as the more high-flying one, with the Sim Snuka spot, the moonsaults, the elbow from Shawn, the missed attempt at the top rope from Undertaker. But there was a lot of mat grappling in this match that I had forgotten about. And that's a good thing. I mean, there was a lot of great wrestling in this match, and just showing you that they can do a lot of different things. And I love 25 because of what I just mentioned, of how close it was. Shawn made one mistake. He missed that last-minute field goal. Otherwise, he would have won. So that way, when WrestleMania 26 comes up, there's that replay value where you're thinking, ooh, he only made one mistake. Maybe this time he gets it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's that close, came that close, closer than anybody really ever to breaking the streak up to this point. He kind of starts really the whole, this run that Undertaker's going to go on until the streak is actually broken, where it just comes closer and closer and closer every single year. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at how it plays into this next match. We'll see what sort of comparisons we can find, what sort of storytelling between these two matches. And we'll settle it once and for all, watching them back to back. Which one we do like better. So what better way to do that than watching them back to back here, guys? So, if you need to take a break or need to put us on pause, do what you need to do. But we're going to go ahead and queue up WrestleMania 26 on the WWE Network. And again, it's the final chapter on WrestleMania 26. So it's at 3 hours, 12 minutes and 57 seconds. Am I right?
Yep, that's what I got.
Hey,
Okay.
before we count down really quick, can I have a run-in?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, the legendary Deanna.
This is my wife, Deanna, the other part of the Royal Rumble 2007 equation.
Hello.
Hi.
Now you
Good
need
to
to tell
meet you.
us. You have to tell us your perspective on your future husband running around high-fiving everyone at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, on that day, there was no way he was going to be my future husband. But we're here.
What a wonderful story. That's true love right there. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
how have you put up with the Undertaker fandom over the years?
I think I'm a saint. That's probably the best. 'Cause, well, with this latest, what is the thing called?
The detolf in the gym?
Yeah. So that started as like, oh, I'm just going to get have something to put all my things in. And then it became, I'm just getting this one I found on eBay. And then like every week, like, I found one more thing.
I was like the Undertaker. I would say, okay, D, I got this last figure. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm done. And then a week later, we're getting a package at the house.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the heck? I thought you were done. Yeah. She's Michelle McCool here.
He moved all the knickknacks from here in the area where we're sitting now to the detolf, and then he just keeps filling it up. So, I mean, it's not in my way, so I guess that's fine. But there's more. Do they know that I contributed to your collection?
With the foam fingers?
Yeah, with the
Yes.
foam fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deanna had a couple of foam fingers under her bed for like 20 years. And
That long.
Yeah.
But I got it because we went to a house show when I was a kid, and I loved HBK, and they were out of the hat. And so, I gotta get these foam fingers. And
so you had to hold on to it for 20 years. So your future husband.
Exactly.
20 years. But, so that I'm okay with, because that I contributed to. The rest of it is just, it's out of control.
I do have an unusually large amount of the basement allocated for my crap.
Yeah. Well, the cup that he's drinking out of, which I'm sure he showed you, he
did.
had like 15 of them. Now it's down to just one now?
One. I had,
Okay.
I had a whole sleeve. I had a whole sleeve of them.
Well, that just means you have to recollect them. I mean, that's all that means.
Yeah.
I disagree. So, there are times where we reduce, but lately it's been expanding.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, I don't know if you've looked on eBay lately, but there's a lot of Undertaker merch out there.
I don't look. I usually just find out when it shows up at our house.
There's more to come.
Well, you're a great wife for putting up with that. And we'll say putting up with it because we know how it is. Like, you're just putting up with it.
Our wives know
Thank
as
you.
well. Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing this podcast for over 3 years now. I've had, my oldest was just not even a year old, and I've had another child
Right.
since this. So
Right.
my children are growing up on this podcast with us.
Randy listens every week, obviously, but then there's times when we go to pick up our son from daycare, and Talking Taker's on in his car to go pick it up. And so what he hates is, like, I ask him questions, and I do it during wrestling, but I do it when you guys are talking, and so he hits the pause and answers the question. And then
Yes.
And even on, was it Monday or last night? He was watching Raw, and I started asking questions, and he's like, "Are you tired yet?"
Are you tired? Go to sleep.
So it's his fault that I don't listen more, because he just doesn't encourage that.
You're giving away all my secrets. You're making me seem less cool.
Well, I should stay. I'm hearing that I should stay. But, yeah, it's good to meet you guys.
It's great to
Great
meet you. Thanks,
You're a legend.
thanks for letting us borrow Randy for the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
For as long as you want. If you need him tomorrow, if you need him.
Are you going to sleep now, I assume?
Good night, Deanna.
I'll continue to yell then.
Okay.
Hey, Deanna, rest in peace.
Oh, jeez.
I meant like good night rest, not
No,
like death.
you're supposed to say take her easy, Travis.
No, I said rest in peace. Yeah. Take her easy, by the way.
Hey,
Oh,
so
there it is.
There's the hat.
There it is.
Curse you.
It looks just as cool as it would have in 1991 with the straight bill.
Yes.
Very awesome.
Dude, that is incredible.
That's awesome.
Have you worn it out in public, or is it too sacred?
No, it's too sacred. I soaked it overnight in the OxyClean just to get all like the 30 years of dirt off of it. And you can see that water, by the way.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
It's been in the detolf, but I do bring it out for special occasions. But I think this qualifies.
Dude, I don't know. I search Undertaker hat on there, every so often, and I keep seeing these terrible. They're like the Dr. Seuss, like Cat in the Hat, like Undertaker hats.
Yeah,
they're so gross looking though, like because they're like furry and they're like 25 years old. They're just like, ooh, I would never put that on my head from someone else.
That is definitely Spencer's Gifts 1998 Attitude Era. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I think our wives are going to be jealous. Your wife was on here longer than either of our wives have ever been on here. So
true.
But awesome to talk to.
Last time Mom was on, she was yelling at our son downstairs. You could hear in the background.
Nice. Last time my wife was on, she cursed at someone on the phone at the end.
She did.
Or was that the Bottom Line cast? I think that was on there.
I think that was here.
It was on ours. Okay, I don't remember either. One or the other. But here we go. Let's do WrestleMania 26. Like I said, we're at 3 hours, 12 minutes, 57 seconds. So the very last chapter on the WWE Network. Again, we'll skip the video package, so it'll be straight to the match. Gentlemen, are you ready to start your engines?
Absolutely. I'll give us the 3, 2, 1 play. We'll go and play.
You got it. Give us the honors.
Right. 3, 2, 1, play.
And Justin Roberts.
Hey, one thing's for sure. This 3-man booth that we got going can't be any worse than the real life one with Matt Stryker. Right?
Hey, man.
Exactly.
If it is, we need to pack it in.
Exactly. I just saw a sign that said HBK, the Streak Break Man.
The Streak Break Man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
SBM.
It's...
Sean's coming out. He still got the angel wings like last year on his upper part. I don't think I noticed that.
And he's in a much better mood than he was last year too. Yeah. He's more goofy, more classic Shawn Michaels, doing the dancing, more cocky, more confident, and he really did. He got the upper hand through all of this build-up. Mm-hmm. That was the big story going into this ever since Elimination Chamber when he hopped in there and cost Undertaker that match, and he was hitting him with Sweet Chin music every week, seemed like, popping in.
Yeah, I think you guys mentioned this. I think 26 has a little bit of a better build-up almost than 25. They're different.
They are, yeah.
But I
do like
full
it.
Build up. It weren't 425, so it's like it
That's
had to
true.
come. Yeah, it had to come first,
Yeah,
So,
you couldn't have that
great.
build up without it. But yeah.
Did both of you watch WrestleMania live? I assume.
We did. We watched it together at another one of our friends' apartments. And speaking of wives, it was Travis's wife's first time watching wrestling with all of us.
Yep,
a big party.
It was, and this was the match she was probably most into. This was the match we were most into. Plus, I think she knew it was the end of the night. This is the last one, so she's like, "Ooh, thank God."
I took Deanna to that first WrestleMania on WWE Network, whatever year that was, and I took her to my buddy's house, and they had no pay-per-view limit. So Deanna's going, and hey, I got to work tomorrow. And I said, yeah, it's got to be over by 10:30, and it's just going and going, and she wanted to kill me.
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 30. Yeah, that was 2014. So,
and that was only half as long as WrestleMania 35 was, probably.
That's right.
It's like 8 hours.
WrestleMania
long.
35 started on Sunday, ended on Monday.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The first 2-night WrestleMania.
Yeah, on accident.
I do love the look in Phoenix, though. I am disappointed that they've never been back there. I think it's such a cool arena. And I love the stage for it. It sucks kind of that they just It's like they go to Florida, they go to New York.
Yep.
Back and forth
New
between
Orleans.
those. Yeah, New Orleans. Yeah, that's the other one.
It's like the Super Bowl now. It's warm climates or New York, and that's
Mhm.
it. I was at the last Midwestern WrestleMania, and that was Detroit, 2007. I mean, we are due. I
Absolutely.
thought with the new Viking Stadium, I thought for sure Minnesota would.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, I'm going to tell Travis and Alex to come up and stay at Chateau de Turco for WrestleMania. But
Well, if
That's
it ever
like-
happens, so we'll come crash.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it's like Atlanta. It's WrestleMania 27, and like they got that brand new place there. It would be a phenomenal place to have a WrestleMania, but I don't know if they'll come back.
I don't
Taker's
think
coming up from the
we've-
ground again.
We haven't had a pay-per-view in Atlanta since the Survivor Series 2015. I think it was the last pay-per-view, which was the 25 years of Undertaker, where he had the tag team with Kane against the Wyatts, which was my one-year wedding
Hey.
anniversary. That's why I didn't go to that show. It happened
that.
on my one-year wedding anniversary. But that's a great. What was that, Randy?
that was that's the 25th anniversry of the Undertaker book.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Awesome. Love that.
That's what I got my notes on. I got my notes sitting on.
I don't even think I've seen that before. That's really cool.
Yeah, I hope they come out with 30-year anniversary stuff.
Yeah,
'cause
really.
I will buy it.
Well, they've got the Last Ride DVD that's going to come out, so definitely going to have to get that. I'm sure there'll be a
aerial shot
T-shirt
right
or
there
two.
is awesome. That huge XT symbol, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. Taker with his
Shawn.
foot. No hat.
Nope.
No wig either.
No wig either, baby.
Yeah.
Now, so we're in the Undertaker short hair faux hawk era. What were your thoughts on that when the Undertaker revealed that at WrestleMania 28?
I just thought, I know the story is that he cut it because he thought he wasn't coming back, at least that year. I just thought I didn't know that, but I thought he was cutting it, just kind of giving up the ghost and thinking, okay, I look terrible. It's time to shave it. I thought that's what he was doing. And I mean, I didn't love it, but I understand that there's only so much you can do.
Right.
It's ironic because I was watching this WrestleMania at a mutual friend's house. Dee and I had a mutual friend, Mike Witkowski, not Mike Wazowski.
Oh, wow. One
From
eyeball? Yeah.
But we were there, and so it's all a wrestling crowd, kind of like Travis, your wife, going there with everybody's a wrestling person, even Dee goes up, and then one of Dee's friends shows up just to visit everybody. She's not a wrestling person, and here's this match starting. She comes with it only at the end. Everybody's thinking about 25 years career of Shawn Michaels. The Undertaker's got his streak, and this lady walks in, Amanda, God love her. She walks in and says, "What's this match with the two guys with the horrible hairlines?" Just the whole room looked like, get out.
She's not wrong, but we have to put that
problem.
aside when we watch wrestling. We all grew up with Hulk Hogan's hair, so we can deal with this. Hulk Hogan
Exactly.
was the coolest guy in the world with his skullet, man. Yeah, even though we were with a huge wrestling crowd this night, me and Travis had to quiet everybody down for this match.
Oh, yeah.
People were more goofing off and talking over this match, and we knew it was Shawn Michaels' last match, and we were both like, we want to hear the commentary, we want to hear the crowd, shut up.
Yeah.
It was making us mad.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating at the time. So.
We were talking over, because usually you can feel that crescendo building when a match is coming to the end, and with WrestleMania 30, we didn't feel it, so we were all just talking and screwing around, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, it's over?
Yep.
What? It's like something happened, something's wrong, and then when you see the replay, it's clearly 3, but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Had the same exact experience, and we'll talk about that when we get to that episode here next week, but had the exact same experience.
I love the hot start to this, man. Taker just rushing at Shawn, and then Shawn ducking again and going with those chops. Did the throwback to last year, and then he just did that flare bump, where he spun up. And Taker's just taking it to him, man.
Boom!
Ooh, snake
Oh
eyes.
my
Bootski.
gosh! Moves of doom. And speaking of hot start, Undertaker's got severe burns on his chest from the last time he wrestled too. He's just barely recovering from that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Boom.
He's had a rough couple years.
Fire. All right. Oh, so I was thinking about this yesterday. In fact, can you name? And the answer is already no. This is rhetorical. But can you name another performer who has had the best match at WrestleMania this many years in a row? Right. I mean, think about it. WrestleMania 24, probably even 23. 23, 24,
23, yeah, for sure.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That's
right?
insane. It's insane.
The only one I think...
He's not known as the good worker. He's not known as the worker. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a Chris Benoit. He's not a Kurt Angle. He's not a Shawn Michaels. He's Taker, dude.
Only one I'd say you could put close in this category would be the guy he's facing. This is Shawn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But even that, like, think about his successive years. Did he have the greatest matches that many years in a row? You know? But yeah, you're right. The only other guy you could probably say would be him. You know, because you think like Jericho had great matches there, but he also had a match with like William Regal that wasn't that great, and he had like Money in the Bank matches. So like he wasn't still like Taker's generally speaking going to have singles matches. You know, so it's just the nature of being who he is and the character he is and the place that Vince asked for him. But I got to think about like you can't name anybody like he's Mr. WrestleMania, not Shawn. Like he is. You know? So,
hey, you're preaching to the choir.
No, yeah, I know. It's just, to all of you listening out there, like just name us somebody who's had the best match at WrestleMania
That's a great point.
Many years in a row.
Did you guys notice that Taker is 2 for 2 tonight on the old school that he never hits? And he's 2 for 2, WrestleMania 25 and WrestleMania 26.
Wow.
Yeah. Alert the media, right?
That's right.
But I tell you what, he might miss it the first time he does it, but he always comes back around and hits it. He's not satisfied till he gets it in there.
Yeah.
He'll miss it one time, but he'll make it the second time. As we, you guys see the Joker there in the crowd? Top left? Well, not from this shot. Hard cam shot. Top left? Nope, nothing.
Oh yeah, there he is. I see him.
Okay. Yep.
Why so serious, man? That guy wore this all night. That's insane, dude.
7 hours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is 3 hours and 23 minutes into the pay-per-view. Plus, he's been there before. Like, bro, that guy was determined to get on TV in his Joker outfit. And he's like 2 years late. I mean, that was 2008. That movie came out. So.
Yep. Ooh, a little rough going over the top there for Shawn. But, so, yeah, story here. You see Undertaker selling that left ankle or knee. He kind of tweaks it early on in the match. And it's going to be a big factor here as, oh, no, not again. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. That was a nice little tease, though. All right, Randy. So we've talked about with the Bottom Line cast guys. They is it Mike that hates
Earl Hebner?
Mike that hates Earl Hebner. Yeah. Is there a referee that you absolutely despise, or is there not really?
Not really. I used to love the way that who was the heel referee in WCW?
Nick Patrick. Nick Patrick.
I used to love the way that he like wound up.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like 6'4", dude. He's like a wrestler. I mean, he's huge. He was big guy for ref. Charles Robinson's one of my favorites because he's little, you know. But he's not too little, but he's a small guy. But, dude, he never ages, man. It's insane.
And Earl Hebner is not afraid to break his hand when he's signaling for the bell. Like his,
right.
He is not afraid.
Yeah. He has like triple cartilage in his wrist or something. He's just like wiggling around. Yeah.
Well, Undertaker, he's wishing he had that in his knee or his ankle right now, man. Really tweaked, but he's still going to hit his leg drop there.
You know, when he talked, I think on the Last Ride docu-series about his hip issues, and he said, if I'm not mistaken, that leg drop right there on the apron was one of the leading factors, which you don't think about. But, you know, Hogan has had countless surgeries from his hip, from hitting that leg drop. It's one of the things you don't think about, you know, like it's just a leg drop, but it's every night or multiple times a week for your whole life, your whole adult life, you know?
Right.
So
you're not made to fall down over
right.
and over.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
jacking your spine up by falling on your butt. That made like Stone Cold. You know, he has he did the same thing. He took that. You take the bump the same way. It's not good for your body night after night to do that.
Nope. So in the front row, we got the same crew from last episode.
Isn't that wild, man?
Cavs guy, Jomo Eyes, older woman that is what she is, and then got all the people next to him. Yeah, all of them were in the front row or second row or third row from last night or from earlier tonight. It's crazy.
It's taken me a few years since he's next to Cavs guy. I just thought he was a big Ohio State fan. It's taken me a few years to understand, he's wearing 2, like, for all the 2 counts, like 2.
Oh, got it.
Like the light bulb went on over my head, yeah.
I was today years old when I learned
that.
Yeah, me too. Bringing the knowledge.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Taker reversing the figure 4 into a name that we can't say in 2020. The reverse Native American lock, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that needs a new name. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess no one really does that anymore.
Reverse Washington football deathlock. Can we say that? No.
We'll go with it.
Oh, man, this is great watching these back to back, man. You know, I mentioned the other week on the podcast I want to watch all 4 of these one day. Yep. Also, just when I just mentioned about him having the match at night every 7 years in a row, like I'd like to watch all those. Actually, that'd be fun. You'd never be let down.
All right, we'll set you up on a Twitch stream, Travis. And
no, I don't have time.
That'll be like an 8-hour workday. You'll have to punch in and watch.
Yeah,
seriously.
Punch out.
Absolutely. It'd be a crazy long day because they're just the one at WrestleMania 28 takes an hour of the show.
Right. And a kip up from Shawn there, right into a choke slam. Golly. And there's the guy holding the 2. He holds the jersey up right there in frame. Right. Man. Yeah, never noticed that. That's awesome.
You're right.
I would try to wear bright colors if I was going to be on TV at a wrestling event. So I used to have this Joe Boxer Slippery When Wet shirt. Don't ask.
It's a Bon Jovi album.
I would wear that with my orange Broncos hat and a lot of times I could spot myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Travis, you wore tie-dye a few times to some wrestling.
I did.
Yeah.
I was on the Raw in Atlanta when ECW debuted or whatever.
During the invasion.
The Alliance or whatever. I was in my tie-dye shirt because of that. So.
And your Rhino sign.
And my Rhino sign. I made it on TV. Yep.
Travis, are you talking about the one where it was revealed that ECW and the Alliance were like together?
I was. Yeah. I was there that night. Yeah. ECW came right down next. Like you can see me when they're walking down for that main event. They're right there. And when Rhino comes out earlier in the night, I have my sign and they zoom in right on me. So it was a big night for little old Travis.
That's a great Raw. Yeah.
It was a phenomenal.
It was,
man. I got to see Taker versus DDP open. Shane was it Shane versus DDP or something? It was
It's Taker something with Taker and DDP. It was when they're feuding.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I got to see the American BA Taker, and it was fun. So it was fun.
Which I never saw that live. I never saw him as the Biker Taker live at any show. So you saw him at WrestleMania 18, obviously, Randy. Awesome
18.
moment, yeah. Across the border.
That's the night where he counts to 10 on his hands, right? Afterward,
It was another night where I was like, "That's it. He's at 10. They'll never take it."
So obviously, we're going to be getting to that on our next week's episode. We'll talk about the streak ending. Man, why don't you go ahead and give us a preview? Like you said, it was just complete shock for you as Shawn Michaels with that Asai moonsault. Undertaker catches him. Man, how did you feel about that? How do you feel about it 6 years later? Brock Lesnar beating the streak. Just give us some thoughts on that.
Yeah. Side note: was that the first tombstone outside at WrestleMania since the Jake Roberts tombstone, WrestleMania 8?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. But he's Shawn Michaels, so the match will continue. Unlike
Right. Right.
Brutal though.
But yeah,
Man.
yeah, that WrestleMania 30 match was. I'm with my friends at a mutual house, so I'm not at home, so I can't totally act like a fool like I want to. But it was hard to. All my friends know I'm the Taker guy, and
Right.
that was very important to me. I wanted it more than he did, probably, to Undertaker, because I watched Undertaker take second seat to the Cenas, the Hogans, the Rocks, the Austins. Like the flavor of the month would come and go.
Mhm.
It was always that constant. And he didn't have 16 championships or anything like that, but he always had the streak. And I thought they're going to let him have that. That's going to be his thing. And then when they took it from him, I was and they took it from him not to give it to young Randy Orton at WrestleMania 21.
Right.
To Brock, who is 35 and probably doesn't really need it, in my opinion. So I was unhappy, and I was I internalized a lot of it, but I was quiet for a while, and then I eventually a little bit of it started to spill out when my friends were like, "Man, how you doing?" And I was just like, "This is all we got. This is all we got." I was about 3/4 hot. 3/4 hot.
So, how do you feel about it 6 years after the fact? And how do you feel about that?
And knowing that we've seen the Boneyard and that he says it's over unless Vince says, whatever. But how do you feel now, 6 years later?
I at least feel a little bit better in that they used it to get Brock over as like the legitimate, the only guy who could beat Undertaker at WrestleMania is the legitimate fighter.
Sure.
So that at least is a little better, but at the end of the day, it still shouldn't have ended. I'm dying on that hill.
No, yeah, you're not alone. Lots of people think that, and we'll give our thoughts on it
says that.
next week. Yeah, I think Undertaker himself probably thinks that some days too. But yeah, still got some great matches from him even after that. A couple, not too many.
Yeah. What,
and I heard
dude?
He was willing to pass it to Kane. He was willing to pass it to Triple H at X7, I heard. But Shawn was going to do a run-in, but apparently Shawn wasn't camera ready that day.
Right, yeah.
So I've heard that he's like, at least in the past, he was totally willing to give it out. Mark Henry, sure.
Edge, I think. Yeah, Edge was supposed to, and he's like, no, well, I'm not taking that.
But I was not ready.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And we've had some great discussion here. We've missed Shawn doing an X Factor out of the last ride. That was pretty cool. And then he just went for an elbow drop and Taker got his knees up. So that probably hurts. Hell's Gate attempt, and he's going to spin over there and try to pin, which is how Angle beat him at No Way Out 2006. So.
And CM Punk does it in the WrestleMania 29 match that we just did.
Yep,
yeah.
He does.
As Taker's arm got a little cut on there, a little color.
I was going to ask, is that the same forearm that he bloodied when he busted it through the hearse window this year at WrestleMania 36? Mm-hmm. So maybe Shawn is softening him up for AJ 10 years ago.
There you go.
Playing the
long-term storytelling. That's what this all is. We're seeing it in so many more ways than we even realized here. Look at this crowd, dude. After 4 hours of WrestleMania, they are still on their feet for this.
Because it's these two guys, man.
Were you guys of the belief that the streak was not ending here? Most likely, Shawn's career was ending. I mean, you guys in 2010. I mean,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But still, again, you have that 10% where we're like, well, I don't know, maybe, but pretty sure that this is going to be it. But again, interested because both of us were such big Shawn Michaels fans. Alex had the shirt from when he was a child. Man, I love that old HBK shirt you had. But I just. Even though I was a Sting guy, because of the character and stuff, Shawn's the best in-ring performer of all time. I mean, Ric Flair is Ric Flair, but Shawn's the best in-ring guy there's ever been. And so I knew that even as a kid too. And so I really love this guy. And so knowing that his career is going to be over, I was like, let's see how Taker takes it, Ooh, and that could have been it right there. Yikes, that last ride.
If Taker was in jeans and a do-rag, this would be over.
That's it, man.
Exactly.
It had more power back then when he had a big...
Well, he had high octane, big old dip in his mouth.
Yeah, if he had a big scoop of Red Band in his mouth. Yeah, it gave him that extra boost. But gosh, dude, Shawn takes that. He gets up high like he's Nunzio taking that last ride.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
So,
He looks exhausted. I'm exhausted watching these. This is an emotional roller coaster.
I think Shawn did a great job hiding his emotions during the entrance, during this match. Like Flair, how many times did Flair cry during WrestleMania?
Oh, yeah.
Like you knew unequivocally. I mean, as if the Hall of Fame the night before didn't tell you.
Right.
With Shawn, it did create that little bit of doubt. Like maybe
right.
Yeah.
and that's
He's
what made
such a good
him so good.
actor. Yeah, he's such a good actor. Like, it just goes, like, there's something just about him. He's just so good at acting. And again, we've come to find out doing this podcast that Taker's an excellent actor as well, because he had to hold back all that stuff in the early years. He had to go from being mean Mark Callis or Mark or whatever, you know, the Punisher or whatever, that can actually show emotion and climb the top rope and do drop kicks. He had to hold all of that arsenal back and just be a stoic zombie. That's good acting right there, man.
His facial expressions, his selling, all of it, man. It's I mean, so many people just think of him as the zombie, and you know, he was that for a little while, but there's so much more to it, so many more layers to it.
Oh, big reversal and super kick.
Onto the table. Thank God it didn't break right there. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, really.
I'm thinking at the time this is going to be a Shawn Michaels elbow, patented elbow. Shane,
sure.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what we're all thinking too, going through our heads. Here comes the elbow off the top.
But if you're gonna go out, go all out, man. Your last match, make it special, make it count.
And I'm surprised that he tried this after WrestleMania 21. Is it 21 there? He ate it with his stomach on the side of the table, doing it on angle.
I think so.
And 24 with Flair. When he hits him, it does not look good. He bounces off his ribs, man. He looks gross.
Got him.
Let's go. That could not have been more perfect, though. That was excellent. I love when he hops up here and he falls down.
Yes.
It's a little boost of energy, and he's like, I'm dead.
The adrenaline, man. Feels great, and then it's like, oh, God, what have I done?
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
When they show the replay here, you'll see in the background there's a sign that says Taker going to band camp. I'm not sure what that means, but there was a sign.
I saw that, yeah. What does that even mean?
Right there.
One time at band camp.
Sweet chin music.
Oh,
what it is.
chin music, band camp.
Band camp.
That's a stretch.
It.
That's not funny,
That's
but
Yeah.
I get it because I'm the dad joke guy, so I see where he's coming from.
It's not even good though.
I agree. It's terrible. No, I agree. It's
awful.
rotten. Whoever you are, shame on you for making us think that hard at a wrestling show. Come on.
Look at this brutality, though, man. Look at them stumbling and fighting.
Yeah.
Look at Taker here, man.
Chew. Again, just the storytelling in this is just phenomenal, man. It's just, and like you mentioned last week, Alex, about the Hell in a Cell, how it was the most Triple H match ever, and like just the emotion stuff. Like Shawn's right up there with that too, and like you said, you see the fingerprints all over NXT. Those main event matches when it comes to stuff, and it's just once you mentioned that last week, I got to thinking about the Garganos, the Ciampas, the Adam Cole, just some of that stuff, and it's like, man, you're absolutely right, dude. And you can see it here in this stuff too, even before he's retired, man.
Yeah, and I don't mean that as a bad thing.
No.
Sometimes it's too much, but when it's these guys, yeah, it's great. It's fantastic, dude. When they go back to the crowd, if they do a wide shot again, I guess because it's the Cardinals, I guess it makes sense now. Arizona Cardinals. It feels like the whole hard cam side, people are wearing red and white. Like, not even jerseys. I guess that's what the WrestleMania shirts all look like. But it looks like they're all there together, man. Look at that.
Yep. Yeah.
I just realized it's Arizona Cardinals, so it makes sense.
Shout out to Aaron Adkins from whoever's holding that sign up. Going to band camp.
And the choke slap.
Not gonna do it.
Well, again, we've been through sweet chin music, choke slam, last ride. The only thing left is the tombstone.
That's right. That's it.
Hell's Gate. We've seen that.
Yep. You know, if Taker needs to come back, you know, they had that Camp WWE. Maybe they'll do Band Camp WWE and they'll just put Taker on there.
Travis, I'm going to hang up on you right now.
All right. See you guys. It's been fun. Take her easy.
I would watch that.
Of course.
Here comes that tombstone, maybe. Here he is. Tombstone.
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking that's got to be it. 1, 2, and nope.
Right.
Again.
Not gonna do it.
Look at that look on Undertaker's face. The frustration, the anger, the shock, the disbelief.
What does he have to do to beat Shawn Michaels and end this career? Does he got to hit him with a banjo? What do you got to do?
Exactly.
Take it to band camp.
Give him the El
Oh my
Kabong.
God.
The old El
And
Kabong.
man, you think about the high school gyms these guys wrestled in on Monday Night Raw, like in 1995, the Fernwood Event Center or whatever they used to have Raw in, and here they are, 15 years after the fact, inside a football stadium, headlining, man, and it's because of these two guys, you know, it's because of Stone Cold, it's because of Rock, sure, but who are the guys that are still there? Who are the guys that were there then and are there now? They're just as much as part of that. So it's awesome that they get to, reap the rewards of that.
Uh-oh. The straps are coming down. We're going from pay-per-view channel 95 to pay-per-view channel 99 now.
Oh, no. Scramble vision. And look at the burn on his chest, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Wait. Hold
Second
on.
thoughts. Throat
Look
slash.
at that bruise on his wrist.
Yeah, that is ugly.
He's like, wait a second.
That would have been enough for me to quit the match right there. I would have been like Sin Cara when he broke his thumb or whatever. Like, no.
Time out.
I'm done.
Not do any more lucha things. So, yeah. Like, he does not want to put him away, but he does, you know? He's like trying to have mercy on him.
And it's a great prequel to what we see with Triple H at the end of the era match. I mean, they basically repeat this moment right here, which is just so great.
Taker's eyes.
Boy,
Asking him.
have you had that look with your kids, guys? The two fathers on it.
Without question.
Yeah.
All the time.
I never tombstone him afterward, though.
There you go. Jumping.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jumping
say?
tombstone
Yeah.
too.
So we pulled out the tombstone on the outside and the jumping tombstone. So put a little extra mustard on it, as JR would say.
And you think he's whispering a little bit to him right here?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. He's like, I know I hated your guts back in 96, 97, but I respect you. Booker Ban.
It was great storytelling, but I think that the other match where he just made the one mistake, this match, it felt like Taker kind of, like, Shawn ran out of gas. It felt like it was a little farther apart than the last one, but I get that it's all about storytelling, too.
Sure.
But that's perfect, you know. It's Shawn Michaels. His career's over, man. So yeah, it makes sense that he just doesn't have it in him. You know, he gave it all out there and finally ran out of steam, and he can't do that one thing. And so now he goes away, and the Triple H matches play into that. So it's just, look at this kid, man. Can you imagine being that kid right there on your dad's shoulders?
Oh, yeah.
Getting to watch that. Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I was thinking about that as as Shawn's going up the ramp here after he leaves. He's like high-fiving people and shaking their hands and listening to them talk to him. I'm like, man, what if you were on the aisle after WrestleMania 6, high-fiving Shawn Michaels and telling him, great job.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the comment he says. He says something about, like, I'm going home to my kids or something like that. And he says, or my wife and kids are going to be sick of me or something like that.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, it's great. WrestleMania is Undertaker's yard. Good sign.
And one time I slapped Earthquake when I was on the aisle. That's about the only person I ever touched. When I was sitting on the aisle.
That's like Matt Hardy, but one more because he can slap a tornado. You slapped an Earthquake.
You. He was actually Avalanche, so it was his WCW days. So
Ooh.
WCW house show. 18-0 as the pyro
Look at
goes
that.
off, dude. Oh my goodness.
There's the
That's
split pose.
The
yeah.
Hamlet pose, exactly. And outside the stadium, how about that?
Again, this is the main event. This is it. The show's over. That's it. You know, we talked a
Yeah.
lot on this podcast about how this wasn't even for a title, but this was a title. This was the other
is.
title in the WWE. It's the streak match.
Absolutely, and I think Shawn could have still went for a few more years, but there's something to be said for retiring ahead of the curve, where there's until Super Showdown, there is no footage of you being terrible. It doesn't exist. There is no, like Michael Jordan in a Wizards uniform. That doesn't exist. Quit. Unfortunately,
Or
Shawn
Undertaker versus Goldberg, unfortunately.
Right?
You know, that's the thing Undertaker battled with for so long, you know, that not quite knowing the right time to go out, but thankfully Undertaker did get to have that one last awesome thing to go out on. He did finally find that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you're right, man. It's Shawn, seeing him go out here, I heard him interview a few years later. I think it was on Sam Roberts' podcast. He talked about this was the perfect time to go out. He said, because my character was the same character from the Rockers. He's like, I didn't change personas or become a different, like, he's like, I was still Shawn Michaels. Like, it wasn't a different, I've been through different eras, but it was the same story from that one guy who came in. He said, so that's why I felt comfortable going out with Taker here. I had nothing else to prove, nothing else to do. And that story for this guy has been done. He said, and I'll never come back because it'll spit in the face of that story. And again, we understand Saudi Arabia is a one-off. It was what it was. But up to this point, man, I was just like, I respected his decision to never, ever, ever, ever come back. You know, I love that. And I love that he was like, no, this story is final. There's no point in coming back unless the story's there and it will never be there. And, of course, it really wasn't there, but Saudi Arabia was there. But that's something else. But look how emotional he is, man.
And now he lets the emotions out. Now that the cat's out of the bag, you can. Yeah.
Love this guy.
And how cool a Taker. He was the winner. He should be Shakespeareing, and he gets out of the fence and says, nope, this is your moment. See ya.
Yep.
Shows the respect that he has for Shawn and just respect for the business as well to do that. Again, how do you not love that guy? How do you not just think he's the man? He is. He shows it in every way.
Thinking about it, this had been 97, and this had been a main event at WrestleMania 97, saying it was these two guys still. Even if Taker would have won, Shawn would have posed, got all, high five people, done a backflip up the moon, done a moonsault. Like, he would have still done something because he was a different guy back then, But you're right, the tables have turned, and they've gotten older and wiser, It's kind of funny.
He lived two lives, and he kind of had two careers in a way.
Yeah. Yep.
So now that we've seen these two matches back to back, are we still in agreement that WrestleMania 25 is maybe just a scotch ahead of the other two? What are we thinking?
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. 25 with a little bit more high flying, and with that ending at the time that came out of nowhere, like the RKO. I mean, it was just like he made that one mistake. And this match is it's amazing. But the other thing about 25 I love is 25 didn't have any pressure. I mean, it was just going to be a good match, two vets, and it surprised us and snuck up on us. 26 had that sequel pressure, I think, that you guys talked about last week in the WrestleMania 28 episode. I mean, that law of diminishing returns, it's hard for movies, it's hard for matches, and this did a great job as a sequel. I mean, a great job, but I just don't think it lived up to 26. I mean, 25, 1A and 1B.
Yep. You said it eloquently said right there, man. That was excellent.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think it's It's fantastic. I wouldn't argue with anybody who would put 26 ahead of 25. You could certainly make the case for it. And I love that they're different, too. They're very different matches. They're not carbon copies of the other one. As we see this match sponsored by AARP. Hold on to that sign for about 10 years there, buddy. But you have no idea what's coming yet. But, I mean, kudos to both these guys. What incredible storytelling here. As Shawn says goodbye.
Yeah, once we do get over Saudi Arabia, 3 of them are bald.
Right?
Taker's the only one with hair.
And he was the first one to cut it. Well, I guess Kane was the first one to cut it. But, yeah. Well, man, Randy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to finally have you on here. I think Travis and I say it a lot on the show, but it's just it's fun that anyone besides us ever listens to it. So it's great to have you along and to hear your comments and all your great stories and traveling moments throughout the years, and to see all your Undertaker merch that you've collected through the years. Maybe we'll do a special for our YouTube channel, and we can do a video interview. You could take us on a tour of the Taker Detox, because you got some awesome pieces in there.
Yeah, thanks. I hope I didn't drop the ball for you guys the way Sim Snuka dropped the Undertaker.
No, you did not. No.
Well, I was, Homer Simpson's lifelong dream was to eat the world's largest hoagie. And my dream the last couple of years has been to be on your guys' show. So I would say that after tonight, me and Homer J, we both made out all right.
You got it.
And Alex is a lifelong Simpsons fan, so that's even better. For
Absolutely. That was perfect.
Excellent. I love it. That's awesome.
Well, I know you don't have a podcast or anything, but people can follow you on Twitter for horror movie recommendations and Minnesota Golden Gophers football content as well. Tell them where they can follow you.
Yeah, if people want to follow me on Twitter for the day-to-day Gophers updates, Broncos updates, Undertaker thoughts, horror movie thoughts, nostalgia, Halloween, all these great things, because I have nowhere else to put my stream of consciousness. It's at Pokey's Little Dog, all one word, and it is as horrible as it sounds, Pokey's Little Dog. The Foo Fighters have a rarity called Pokey's Little Puppy, and I think it's after like the children's book. And Pokey's Little Puppy is too long to fit into Messenger, like when I was in college. So I would always shorten it to Pokey's Little Dog. So then any other program I would get into was always Pokey's Little Dog, Pokey's Little Dog. And now I'm a 39-year-old man at Pokey's Little Dog on Twitter. So here we are.
But the funny thing, you're not like Pokey's Little Dog 1976. Like that's it. You're
a hit.
It's unique. Yeah, like that's cool. Like you don't have to worry about that. You're not picking something that's like everyone else has. So that's unique, man. It's great.
Yeah, I own that. I own that intellectual property. There you go.
Yeah.
And alive.
So, what's your favorite Foo Fighters album? Off the top of your head.
Oh man, they're all like my children. I feel like. But I think probably looking at it, it's the color and the shape. We call it T-Cats, for short. But T-Cats is just has single after single from start to finish, and it was if you're using money and the charts, commercially, it was their most successful album too. And Everlong is like their rock and roll all night. Everlong still closes their concert. Yeah. Closes the encore. It closes the show. Right. Still, I saw them at their last tour, which is 2 years ago now, and it's still Everlong. So, although if they ask Dave Grohl, what's your greatest hit? He says we haven't written it yet. So, we'll see if anything ever tops Everlong. Yeah.
Yeah, color and the shape is perfect, top to bottom. I love In Your Honor too. I just love the difference of it with the two the soft side and the hard side on there. I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan as well, so I love all their stuff. So glad that we share that in common.
Yeah, I enjoy that they're not, as they've become successful and they're legends now, they can kind of do whatever they want. So I love that they, like the Undertaker, they will experiment and go out. It may not be as commercially successful, but they don't care. So if they want to put out an album that's reggae in space, they'll record reggae in space because they can.
They've earned that equity with the fans and with the music industry, just like Taker has. You're absolutely right. So Absolutely right. Yeah, for me, Color and the Shape is the best. I'll never forget when I bought that album. I listened to that and Crash by D&B like a lot, back and forth. And I remember being on vacation. My grandma was like, "We're listening to." So she put my disc one on, and it was Monkey Wrench, and it was like the part in the end where he's going to, and I just yelling, and he says that the cuss word there, and she's like, "How dare you?" I'm like, "Of course, Grandma. You listen to the one part where he says the S word, yeah, the one line." So, of course. So she's like, "You can't listen to this." I'm like, "Great, thanks."
Well, folks, we appreciate you guys listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this was as fun for you all listening to it as it was to record it. We will keep rolling on to the last ride next week as we get back to our encyclopedic exploration. Oh, with a match that has been looming around the corner, that kind of dreading for the sadness and the emotion of it. But we're here, the end of the streak, WrestleMania 30. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. We will dissect it from every inch. We will talk about our reactions to it. We'll talk about our feelings on it 6 years later. Randy's shaking his head in anger.
So for 2 weeks straight, we'll have Golden Gophers on the podcast for 2 weeks.
Yeah. But that'll be next week's show, so we hope you guys will join us. You know where to find us on Twitter, social media. You can get a beautiful Taker Care business shirt, just like Randy has on, if you want to support that and support the show. But other than that, man, Randy, thank you so much for joining us. You have any parting thoughts?
The Undertaker should still have the screw.
Agreed.
You know what's funny? I own all the WrestleMania DVDs over there on my DVD wall, and strangely, to this day, WrestleMania 30 is missing.
Oh.
Just saying.
Wait a second.
Oh, wow.
I don't know where it's at. Funny.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting. It's in a dumpster somewhere with Sim Snuka.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us again tonight for this special episode. Thank you, Randy, for being on here again. We appreciate your fandom. We appreciate your support. All of you, we appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. Again, we know there are endless amount of content out there, especially during this pandemic era. Everyone and their dog has got a podcast now, or a YouTube, or a Twitch stream. And so we appreciate the millions of you who listen each and every week. I can't even say that without laughing. But seriously, we appreciate all you guys listening. Thank you, Rainey, for being here. And you know what? You're here. Why don't you take the sign off for us?
You're going to let me take the sign off? Oh.
Yeah, we're not letting you. You have earned it.
Oh, wow.
Gosh. This is great. Well, if any of you were at WrestleMania 25 or 26, if you haven't already reported to Travis and Alex, be sure to do so. And if you were the person with the Bandcamp sign, if you were Aaron, if you were the WrestleMania 25 Affliction shirt guy, C.W. Anderson, if you're the guy with the Terrell Pryor jersey, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
How do you get tickets to Front Row at WrestleMania every year? We want to know. Be sure to hit up at Talking Taker. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, take her easy.
And now, look alive, sports fans, because on deck it's Tiger Radio's sportiest reporter, A.C. Slater. Hey, thanks, Wolfman. Okay, first things first. Let's check out the old scoreboard. Huh? I mean, hey, give me a break. It's not that old, right? Anyway, in local high school action, it was Bayside 5, Valley 4. I guess that means we won, right, math majors? This is A.C. Slater. And just remember, fans, in the airport of life, sports is just the baggage. Right. So what do you think? We're thinking about it. So happy I told you I was good. Hey guys, I think I know what helps later. What? A muzzle.